Welcome, everyone. Today, I want to take you on a journey into one of the most tantalizing unsolved puzzles in human history, the Voynich Manuscript. Picture this, a 600-year-old book, beautifully illustrated, sitting in a climate-controlled vault at Yale University, and not a single person on Earth can read a single word of it. It's been called the world's most mysterious book, and by the end of this talk, I think you'll absolutely understand why. So grab your detective hats. We're going in. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the discovery, a Polish book dealer in 1912 who had no idea he'd just stumbled upon history's greatest literary puzzle. Then we'll crack open the manuscript itself and explore its 6 bizarre, beautiful sections. After that, we'll put the text under a statistical microscope. And here's a spoiler, it actually behaves like a real language. Then comes the big question. Is this an elaborate hoax, or is there a genuine message waiting to be decoded? And finally, we'll ask why, after 600 years, this book still matters. Let's dive in. Now, I want you to imagine walking into a dusty European library and finding a book that no one, not the world's best cryptographers, not the NSA, not even modern artificial intelligence, has ever been able to read. That's the Voynich Manuscript. It sits in Yale's Beinecke Library, catalogued simply as Militon Sonra 408, and it has defeated every single person who has tried to unlock its secrets. Think about that for a second. In an age where we can map the human genome and photograph black holes, a 15th century book still has us completely stumped. That's the level of mystery we're dealing with here. So how did this mystery even begin? The story starts in 1912 when a Polish-Lithuanian book dealer named Wilfrid Voynich, yes, that's where the name comes from, was browsing through a collection at the Villa Mondragone, a Jesuit college just outside Rome. He was looking for rare books to sell, but what he found was far stranger than anything he'd expected. A handwritten codex in an unknown script filled with drawings of plants that nobody could identify. The manuscript came with a letter suggesting it had once belonged to Emperor Rudolph II, who supposedly paid 600 gold ducats for it. Voynich bought it as part of a larger lot and spent the rest of his life trying to crack its code. He never did, and spoiler alert, neither has anyone else. Now, some skeptics have argued the manuscript might be a modern forgery, maybe even one crafted by Voynich himself to sell for a fortune. But in 2011, researchers at the University of Arizona put that theory to rest with radiocarbon dating. The calfskin pages were dated to between 1404 and 1438. That's the early 15th century, decades before Columbus sailed, around the time of Joan of Arc. The ink was also dated to the same period. Whatever the Voynich manuscript is, it is genuinely medieval. The mystery isn't a modern con, it's the real thing, and it's been baffling people for 600 years. Let's talk about what's actually inside this book. The manuscript has about 240 pages. Some are sadly missing, and scholars have divided its contents into 6 distinct sections. First, the herbal section, page after page of plants, most of which don't match any known species, drawn with remarkable botanical precision. Then the astronomical section with zodiac-like diagrams and celestial charts. The biological section is perhaps the strangest. It shows naked women in green pools connected by elaborate networks of tubes, and frankly, nobody knows what to make of that. There's a cosmological section with fold-out circular diagrams, a pharmaceutical section with jars and roots, and finally a recipes section of dense, unbroken text, the only section with no illustrations at all. Every section deepens the mystery in its own way. The illustrations are what first grab you when you open this book. Look at these plants. They're drawn with incredible detail, roots, leaves, flowers, seed pods. But botanists have examined them exhaustively and concluded that most don't correspond to any known plant on Earth. The astronomical diagrams show zodiac symbols we recognize alongside configurations that make absolutely no sense. Some pages fold out into stunning multi-page spreads, a rare and wildly expensive feature for a 15th century book. Whoever made this manuscript invested serious time, serious money, and serious craftsmanship. The question that haunts everyone is, why would anyone go to all this trouble? Let's put the Voynich text under a statistical lens, because this is where things get really interesting. Researchers have run the text through the same kind of analysis we use for natural languages. Out of about 37,000 total words, more than 6,000 appear only once. That's a massive number of hapax legomena. About 2,000 words appear between 2 and 10 times. And here's the crucial part. 515 words show up more than 10 times, and those 515 account for nearly 2/3 of the entire text. That kind of distribution, a steep drop-off from a few very common words to a long tail of rare ones, follows Zipf's law, which is a hallmark of natural human languages. If this is gibberish, it's statistically sophisticated gibberish. Let me give you the headline numbers because they're genuinely staggering. 37,104 total words across the manuscript. That's roughly the length of a short novel. 8,486 unique words, a substantial and sophisticated vocabulary by any measure. And here's the real kicker. When researchers compared the word frequency curve of the Voynich text against English, the correlation was 93.65%. That means the pattern of how common and rare words are distributed in Voynich almost perfectly mirrors what we see in real living languages. Plus, linguistic analysis shows that the most frequent word, dain, behaves exactly like a connective or article, similar to the or and in English. The text has structure, it has rhythm, it has the statistical fingerprints of meaning. Whether it actually says anything, well, that's the trillion-dollar question. So we arrive at the great debate that has divided researchers for decades. On one side, the hoax theory. Maybe Wilfred Voynich fabricated the whole thing to sell for a fortune. He did value it at $100,000, an enormous sum in 1912. But here's the problem. Creating 230 pages of consistent, statistically coherent text on authentic 15th century parchment would require a level of effort that borders on the absurd. Gordon Rugg at Keele University demonstrated that you could use a Cardan grill to generate Voynich-like text. But critics point out his method doesn't reproduce the statistical patterns we just looked at. On the other side, in 2016, a study published in PLOS ONE found linguistic patterns consistent with meaningful text. Some researchers believe it could be a natural language written in an invented script, or a complex cipher, or even an early constructed language. The truth? Nobody knows for certain, and that uncertainty is exactly what makes the Voynich manuscript so endlessly fascinating. So after all of this, the carbon dating, the statistical analysis, the AI algorithms, the generations of brilliant minds who've devoted years to this book, where do we stand? 600 years after someone painstakingly penned its pages, the Voynich manuscript remains completely undeciphered. Not a single word has been translated with any consensus or confidence. The book sits in its climate-controlled vault at Yale, silent as ever. And honestly, I think there's something beautiful about that. In a world where every mystery seems to get solved eventually, the Voynich manuscript reminds us that some puzzles might just be bigger than we are, and that's okay. Let's walk through a century of brilliant minds banging their heads against this particular wall. 1912, Wilfred Voynich discovers the manuscript and begins a lifelong obsession. During the 1940s, some of the best code breakers of World War II, people who cracked Enigma, took a swing at the Voynich and came up empty. In the 1970s, the NSA's top cryptographers spent their spare time on it. No luck. 2011 at least gave us the radiocarbon dating, confirming its medieval authenticity. By 2016, machine learning algorithms were being trained on the text, hunting for patterns invisible to the human eye. And today, in 2026, the Voynich manuscript remains exactly what it has always been. The world's most mysterious book, waiting patiently for someone, maybe even someone in this room, to finally, definitively crack it open. Şimdi işin en heyecan verici kısmına gelelim. 2004 yılında Yale'deki Voynich Kütüphanesi çok önemli bir karar aldı. Voynich el yazmasının tüm sayfalarını tarayıp internetten herkese açtılar. Yani yüzyıllardır sadece bir avuç akademisyenin görebildiği bu kitap artık sizin ekranınızda, şu an bir tık uzağınızda. Ve tahmin edin ne oldu? Dünyanın dört bir yanından insanlar, yapay zeka araştırmacıları, dil bilimciler, amatör şifre kırıcılar, hep birlikte bu gizemi çözmek için kolları sıvadı. Makine öğrenmesi algoritmaları metinde daha önce fark edilmemiş örüntüler arıyor. Voynich artık sadece bir kitap değil, küresel bir takıntı, dev bir açık kaynak bulmaca. Ve böylece hikayemizin sonuna geldik ama aslında bu bir son değil, bir davet. 600 yıldır bu kitap orada duruyor, sayfaları açık, içindeki yazı hala okunmayı bekliyor. Belki de bu gizemi çözecek kişi bu salonda oturuyordur. Belki de o kişi sizsiniz. Beinecke Kütüphanesi'nin dijital arşivine gidin, bir sayfa açın ve kendinize sorun. Ben burada ne görüyorum? Çünkü tarihin en büyük bulmacaları henüz çözemediklerimizdir. Voynich sizi bekliyor. Teşekkür ederim.